Imagine a future where space travel is as common as air travel. That's the mission of SpaceX. In a world where the final frontier is becoming increasingly within our grasp, SpaceX stands at the forefront, spearheading a revolution in space exploration. Their objective? To make space travel not just a dream for the few, but a reality for the many. A sustainable, economical reality. And this brings us to our central question for today. So, how is SpaceX making space travel more sustainable and economical? To understand SpaceX's innovation, we first need to understand traditional rocket technology. Rocket technology, as we know it, has been around since the mid-20th century. The principle is simple. Ignite fuel to create a force known as thrust, which propels the rocket into space. But traditional rocket technology has its limitations. The main issue? These rockets were single-use, destined to fall into the ocean after each launch. This approach is akin to building a brand new airplane for each flight, an incredibly costly and resource-intensive process. Additionally, the complexity of these rockets, coupled with the high cost of space-grade materials, made each launch a significant investment. To put it simply, the sky wasn't just the limit, it was a very expensive limit. But what if we could use rockets more than once? What if, instead of falling into the ocean, these rockets could return to Earth, ready for another launch? This is where the concept of reusable rockets comes in. Reusable rockets could revolutionize space travel, making it more sustainable and economical. By designing rockets to return and land back on Earth, we can dramatically reduce the cost of each launch, making space more accessible than ever before. The answer to overcoming these limitations? Reusable rockets. The concept may sound like science fiction, but it's becoming a reality, thanks to the pioneering work of companies like SpaceX. The principle is simple. Vertical takeoff and landing, often abbreviated as VTOL. It's the concept that's revolutionizing our approach to space travel, thanks to the pioneering work of SpaceX. Now, let's talk about the stars of the show, the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy rockets. These are the workhorses of SpaceX, designed to transport satellites, cargo, and even people to orbit and beyond. The Falcon 9, named after the mythical bird and the 9 engines that power its first stage, is a 2-stage rocket. It stands tall at 70 meters, roughly the same height as a 20-story building. It's designed to deliver payloads to orbit and then return to Earth, landing vertically just like a falcon returning to its perch. The Falcon Heavy, on the other hand, is essentially 3 Falcon 9s strapped together. It has 27 engines in total, making it the most powerful operational rocket in the world. It's designed for even larger payloads and more distant destinations. But what sets these rockets apart is their reusability. Traditionally, rockets have been a one-time use affair. They launch, they deliver their payload to space, and their components either burn up in the atmosphere or fall into the ocean, never to be used again. SpaceX, however, has a different approach. Both the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy are designed to return to Earth after delivering their payloads. The first stage, the part of the rocket with all the engines, separates from the rest of the rocket in space. It then turns around, reignites a few of its engines, and starts heading back to Earth. As it re-enters the atmosphere, it deploys a set of grid fins to help steer it towards its landing site, either a landing pad on land or a drone ship in the ocean. It then reignites a few more engines to slow its descent, deploys its landing legs and touches down, ready to be refurbished and flown again. This process of recovery and refurbishment is what makes SpaceX's approach so revolutionary. Instead of building an entirely new rocket for each launch, they can reuse the most expensive parts, dramatically reducing the cost of getting to space. Of course, it's not as easy as it sounds. Each rocket has to withstand the extreme conditions of space and the heat of re-entry, all while hitting a landing spot just a few meters across. But SpaceX has proven it can be done with an increasing number of successful recoveries. The goal, as always, is to make space more accessible. By reducing the cost of launch, SpaceX is opening up a whole new world of possibilities, from satellite internet to interplanetary travel. But what makes this possible is the technology behind the scenes. Let's delve into the engineering marvels that make reusable rockets a reality. The first component we'll explore is the heat shield. This is an essential part of any spacecraft that re-enters the Earth's atmosphere. The shield protects the vehicle and its cargo from the intense heat generated by atmospheric friction. It's designed to ablate, meaning that it intentionally burns off, taking the extreme heat with it and keeping the spacecraft cool. Moving on, let's talk about grid fins. These are located at the top of the rocket and are crucial for its navigation during re-entry. Shaped like waffles, they pivot to guide the rocket, controlling its descent and ensuring it lands precisely where it's supposed to. It's a bit like a skydiver steering their parachute, except with far more precision and at much higher stakes. Now let's turn our attention to the propulsion system. SpaceX's rockets are powered by their Merlin engines. These engines burn a mix of liquid oxygen and rocket-grade kerosene to create a high-pressure stream of exhaust that propels the rocket into space. The Falcon 9 has 9 of these engines on its first stage, which is why it's called Falcon 9. And the Falcon Heavy, well, it's essentially 3 Falcon 9s strapped together, making a total of 27 engines. That's a lot of power, but these components don't function in isolation. They have to work in perfect harmony for a successful mission. The engines get the rocket into space, the heat shield protects it during re-entry, and the grid fins steer it to a specific landing spot. It's a carefully choreographed dance, with each step crucial to the next. And it's not just about getting to space and back, it's about doing it repeatedly with the same hardware. That's where the real innovation lies. Every launch, re-entry and landing provides invaluable data that SpaceX uses to refine and improve their technology. It's an ongoing process of learning, adapting and innovating. Of course, this groundbreaking technology doesn't come without its challenges. Atmospheric re-entry and precision landing are just a few of the challenges faced by SpaceX. Indeed, the journey to space is only half the battle. It's the return that truly tests the mettle of a reusable rocket. Atmospheric re-entry is a daunting task. Hurtling back to Earth at hypersonic speeds, the rocket must withstand temperatures hotter than the surface of the Sun. Traditionally, this would render rockets unusable after a single flight. But SpaceX has turned the tables. They've developed a robust and reliable heat shield design which can endure the scorching heat of re-entry. This heat shield is not just resilient but also reusable, requiring minimal refurbishment between flights. Precision landing, on the other hand, is like trying to thread a needle in a gale-force wind. The rocket must navigate back to a pinpoint landing spot, all while battling the Earth's atmospheric conditions. How does SpaceX manage this feat? With the help of their innovative grid fin design. These grid fins are capable of making minute adjustments to the rocket's descent path, allowing for a precision landing that's quite literally out of this world. But the challenges don't end there. Rockets are complex machines with thousands of components, each of which needs to be meticulously inspected and maintained. To streamline this process, SpaceX has developed advanced diagnostics and refurbishment procedures. These allow them to quickly identify any potential issues and get their rockets back in the air in record time. And let's not forget the financial challenge. Space travel is notoriously expensive. Yet SpaceX is proving that it doesn't have to be. With their reusable rockets, they're dramatically cutting the cost of reaching orbit. This is making space more accessible than ever before and opening up a universe of possibilities. SpaceX's journey hasn't been without its bumps in the road, but with each challenge they face, they find a solution. Each failure is an opportunity to learn, to innovate, and to improve. And they're not stopping anytime soon. With every launch, with every landing, they're pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Overcoming these challenges, SpaceX is revolutionizing the future of space exploration. This is not just about reaching for the stars, it's about making them within our grasp. So, what does this mean for us and the future of space exploration? Well, let's delve into that. The advent of reusable rockets is a game changer. These technological marvels are significantly reducing the costs associated with space travel. Instead of building a new rocket for each mission, we're now able to refurbish and reuse, effectively increasing the frequency of launches without breaking the bank. Imagine the possibilities. The cost savings and increased launch opportunities could pave the way for more ambitious missions, perhaps even manned voyages to Mars. Picture colonies on the Red Planet, or lunar bases serving as gateways to the cosmos. Moreover, this could open the door to space tourism, allowing everyday folks like you and me to experience the wonder of space firsthand. We're not just talking about astronauts and billionaires here, but ordinary people being able to gaze upon the Earth from the stars. With this technology, the possibilities are endless. Today, we've explored how SpaceX is revolutionizing space travel. We've journeyed through the history of rocket technology, delved into the mechanics of SpaceX's reusable rockets, and marveled at the engineering feats behind the scenes. We've encountered challenges, admired solutions, and speculated on the future implications of this game-changing technology. Now it's your turn to ponder. So, what do you think the future of space travel holds? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.